gives Gary a chance to represent a hand here, and also he can hit Queen to give him the nut straight.
And David lays him down.
Well, that was the case of the way the betting went there. If David had raised more in the first place, Gary might not have even called. But because he only raised small, he decided to re-raise him, and obviously he's going to call with his hand. He's missed the flop, and although he was winning, he doesn't know it.
Welcome back to the second heat of Late Night Poker Ace. 6 players still in this hunt. First to speak is Anthony Edwards, who's feeling like things are fine and dandy so far.
Call. Pass. Call.
Yellow's going in. Red chips, of course, those are the 100-pound options.
175.
And
Pass.
Gary Manning not shy about raising before the flop. He's coming out of the small blind, but he's got the best hand.
He's raising with an ace, but he's out of position here. If he gets called, he's not going to know where he is if an ace flops.
It's 150 to Anthony Edwards. He's got enough.
Call.
He puts 100 red in.
Pass.
225.
That makes 175, and we are head up.
If either of these two hit their cards, the other one's going to have something to draw to.
They've both hit a pair, but Anthony Edwards in the catbird seat right now.
Check. 150.
It's a nice size bet into a 400 pot. Building a pot to 550. What's Gary going to do?
Cool. Thank you.
He's really hoping to see a 10 on the turn, I think, because he won't know where he is if an ace comes.
Neither player has a heart. There's 3 on the board, but Anthony still in the lead, although he's put the brakes on. And is that going to make Gary think he's best? Oh, is it a deep reach? Just enough.
Price 350. 350.
Well, this is definitely a play here by Gary from someone who has got some experience of live play. Obviously, this playing in the pub is helping his game, because once Anthony's checked the flush on the turn, but it hasn't worked. Anthony's decided, I'm going to look you up.
Anthony was deep enough to call, and he'll be happy.
Great call there by Anthony.
Yeah, he went into the tank for a while, but sussed it out. So Anthony's good call with a pair of aces beats Gary's pair of kings. Both players holding one pair, kind of low down on that poker ladder. Not much movement early on, but Anthony is now the joint chip leader with Gary by taking the pot on that last hand. And Peter Smythe, still plenty of life, only trails slightly.
So the button's on Gary, and first act will be Keith, who's our retired civil servant. Told me that it was always a thrill if one of the ministers used one of his jokes.
I raise 50. Raise 250. Pass. Pass.
Raise to 50, he said. That's a 25 more.
Pass. Thank you.
We have 2 players here. We have Keith Milner and Peter Smythe.
Check.
Peter checks.
Well, Keith will be representing the ace, I would imagine.
100.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think that's I'm going to represent the ace and hope Peter's got nothing. Now, how's Peter going to play this?
Raise to 300.
Very casual flick of the wrist there from Peter. through the
Pass.
300. Call
He
me
was-
if you don't like money.
Well, he was hoping to find Keith with an ace as well,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
he's unlucky he didn't have an ace king or an ace queen. Or
25 and 50, and we change the dealer. Round 2.
Well, the blinds have gone up. We are 25 and 50 pounds now. Puts just that much more in the pot before the players see their cards. But Simon, nobody's in too much danger yet.
Pass.
Call.
Call.
Just put in the 100. We're giving you change.
Pass. Pass.
David's saying,
Raise to
let's get
150.
busy. He made a raise to 100. That's 50 plus
Pass.
50. And Anthony said re-raise 50 pounds more. Well, he's not going to chase David for that money.
no, he's letting him in
Oh.
cheap here to see a flop. One of the things here I've noticed already, Jesse, is these guys are making limit raises. They're not making a standard raise of 3 or 4 times the big blind. They're just making a single raise of like 50 with 50 or 25 with 25.
2 players.
So this pot
Oh.
siliconed up, and holy Toledo. No, it's just about...
Anthony very happy to check a flop. He's just flopped the straight. He's just going to check that he has got the straight. Yep, I did have it.
It's called a bicycle, ace 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's induced a bluff from David Burnett.
He's trying to look as vexed as possible.
Call.
I'll bet he will.
Well, if a king or a jack comes here, David could be in big trouble.
He sure would be.
Oh,
no.
wow. That's the one card that David really didn't want to see. But he doesn't know that, and he's going to come out firing
400.
thinking that he's winning this very, very easily.
Raise all in.
I do believe it's all over for
Okay, we are
David
folding.
Burnett. Nothing has gone his way,
Maybe
Simon.
folding.
Talk about a cold deck.
75.
Burnett is in the ice house here.
75.
And
Yeah.
David, who plays a lot of these one-table tournament formats
Okay,
on the
showdown, please,
internet,
gentlemen.
has just
Ace
been
5 for Anthony.
cracked
straight.
open.
David's drawing dead here. He's very
And,
unlucky. That
king,
was
jack
that
for
was the
David.
one card he really didn't want to see on the turn.
Last card 10, no help for him. Our first player out is David.
Anthony Edwards playing the Typhoon Master, and David Burnett never got a chance to strut his stuff, slicking on back to Sunderland.
Playing live is different to playing online because you're actually with the people in the room, obviously, and your reactions can count for a lot. And also, there's more pressure on you because you know that, especially with the television cameras, everybody knows who's watching what you've got. So you just want to try and make good decisions.
Down to 5 players, and Anthony Edwards firmly in the chip lead. He's looking like he's got very sure moves, Simon, but his fingers were trembling,
Pass.
taking that last pot out. And 21 years old, this
Raised
must
to
be the biggest
125.
spot of his life.
Oh, absolutely, Jesse. I mean, it must be a big thrill to be
Oh.
here at the Late Night Poker Studio, and he's followed it from the beginning. So he's probably as young as 15. He started watching poker on TV, and here he is. He's played online for just 6 months, and here he is, chip leader, with a shot at going through to our final.
Well, meanwhile, Peter is doing his best to play the role of a blood rusher. 3-7 under the gun. He's raised it up and hit a pair.
He must have known what was coming.
125 pounds in
Check.
with gobbledygook, but
150.
boy, it's going to be tough putting Peter on a hand.
Yeah.
Call. Thank you.
Well, Milner has called the 150 bet. A 6 would make him a straight. 9 or king would work as well. And Peter can't be loving his 7s in any event. Oh, my.
You sure this guy plays cash games? he's making
300.
moves here that are definite tournament moves.
Wow, that's a great bet, Simon. He's put Peter on the back foot.
If he wins this pot, that's been most impressive. What a tough spot for Peter. I mean, he's got to think that his pair was winning on the flops. He's got to think, how on earth has that queen improved Keith's hand?
Pass.
But he has to lay it down. The size of the bet was too much for Peter. He's going to have to put in 20% of his chips to call. And Keith scoops in another pot.
For more information on the next